What up, JP Nation? It's your boy JP. Today we are reacting to Scottie Pippen gets destroyed for off of Michael Jordan take. Before we get into this video, make sure you subscribe. This is JP for more basketball content. Click the notification bell. You know where our next upload is, on the road to 40K. Thank you all so much. If you haven't heard the comments from Scottie Pippen last week, you'll hear them in this video, and then I'm also going to read it out loud too after the video and give my analysis and thoughts about it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video, and let's go ahead and see what this person thinks.
Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen are widely regarded as the greatest duo in NBA history.
Debatable.
Winning 6 championships, repeating twice, and winning 72 games in 1996.
Yep.
And for the majority of the 90s, 2000s, even the 2010s, I would say both these guys publicly had a good relationship and a good rapport. But ever since 2020, since The Last Dance dropped, this relationship has been completely shattered. And Scottie, for whatever reason, thinks The Last Dance shortchanged him and disrespected him in many regards. And look, I've watched the documentary numerous times, beginning, middle, and end. And I can't find where Scottie gets so offended by Jordan. As MJ numerous times, all throughout the documentary made it clear Pippen was very important to him, his career, and especially those Bulls teams, highlighting his defense, saying he was the best teammate he ever had, and most importantly, saying when you say Jordan's name, right after it, you should say Scottie Pippen. That is definitely some pretty high praise for the greatest player in NBA history. But even with Jordan saying that, Pippen since then is in the anti-Jordan vendetta for some odd reason.
Is he selling this book?
Look, I don't want to get personal, but if you know Scottie Pippen's wife, she's let's just say for the streets and has been passed around the NBA with a DJ Augustine. And looking at Scottie's most recent comments, once again, he's throwing mud on Jordan's name and using him for headlines as well as clicks.
LeBron will be the greatest statistical guy to ever play the game of basketball. And there's no comparison to him. None. So, does that make him the greatest player?
Now, with Scottie Pippen saying this about LeBron, he did say this too 12 years ago when First Take with Skip Bayless and Stephen A. He said that, Michael Jordan is like, the greatest, one-on-one player of all time, but he said LeBron's the greatest player to ever play the game and everything. So he said this about 12 years ago and all that. The only thing that's different is what he's saying about Michael Jordan now than he did 12 years ago. So I just want to clarify that. So
They ever play the game? I'll leave that out for debating, because I don't believe that there's a great player, because our game is a team game.
Look, Scottie Pippen at this point is the ultimate flip-flopper, day to day, week to week, and especially year to year.
if he changes his mind,
As on the record numerous times, he said the greatest player of all time was Michael Jordan. Also, said it was LeBron James. Also, said it was Wilt Chamberlain. And now is claiming there is none. As always, Scottie and anyone in the world, they can have their take and their opinion on the subject of who's the greatest of all time. But looking at the past 5 years, I'm going to take his opinion with a little bit of a grain of salt. And when it comes to Jordan versus LeBron, Pippen back in the day was very, very adamant Jordan was the much better player. But nowadays, he's tweaking that argument, saying LeBron James is a better stats player. And look, LeBron James' longevity stats are better than Jordan's. Nobody's arguing that. But when talking about the greatest player of all time, is it only stats, not accolades, championships,
impact,
and all that other stuff? For me, I take it all into account. That's why I think Jordan is the best player and the greatest player in NBA history.
I seen Michael Jordan play before I came to play with the Bulls. You guys seen him play. He's a horrible player. He was horrible to play with. He was all one-on-one. He's shooting bad shots. And all of a sudden, we become a team and we start winning. Everybody forgot who he was.
So, look, as I said before, Scottie Pippen, as of late, He's been on a marketing tour, marketing books, as well as tequila.
Probably marketing himself.
For the sake of Scottie Pippen, I'm going to assume he's under the influence and doesn't understand what he's saying. As calling Michael Jeffrey Jordan a horrible player is the coldest take in NBA history. And if you want to say Jordan, he was selfish, a bad teammate, even then, I have a hard time buying that. As even in college at UNC, he played in a team system that was built to win championships. Now, when it got to the NBA, his teammates, they weren't nearly as good. And unfortunately for him, in his first 3 years, he played with cokeheads and drunks on his team.
If you're looking for cheap tickets to go to the basketball game, I got you covered. It's just JP Pawn of the SeatGeek to give you the best ticket purchasing experience. Download the SeatGeek app and you'll unlock so many opportunities to go to an event you will certainly enjoy, like a basketball game. What's awesome about SeatGeek is that it gives you the best price from a lot of sellers, and it separates the good from the bad, and also shows you the viewpoint of your seat on your next outing. Yes, use the app, but hold on, there's more. Use the promo code It'sJustJP to get $20 off your purchase. Your deal just got even more awesome. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app for your next event experience.
Pippen quite literally says Michael Jordan, he was a bad player taking bad shots. Let me just show you guys for 1 second. Rookie Michael Jordan, as a rookie, fresh off the boat into the NBA. This year, arguably, is better than some players' prime. He averaged 28.2 points, 6.5
As a
goals,
rookie, too.
5.9 assists, on
Cap and Marlboro.
5% shooting, with 2.4 steals. For his Bulls team, he did everything, leading them in scoring, rebounding, assists, steals, and was second in blocks as a rookie. And his Bulls team went from 27 wins, the second
Then they made the playoffs that year,
to a playoff team that won 38. Michael Jordan, as a rookie, was not a horrible player or a bad shooter. And even going one step further, look at Jordan in 1987. That year, historically, was one of the best seasons in NBA history, as Mike averaged an astounding 37.1 points per game, the highest of the modern era, and the most since Wilt Chamberlain. He had 30 40-point games, 6 50-point games, and 2 60-point games. And looking at his overall team, once again, the Bulls management, at this point, weren't doing a great job.
It's coming.
Kobe and Paxton were his two best teammates, and only teammates in double figures. And one thing Scottie himself has echoed is that MJ before him, he was nothing and didn't start winning till he arrived. And that is a very common argument from LeBron fans, and fans, even Pippen. That argument, though, has been debunked so many times. As looking at Jordan, in his first year with Scottie, in 1988, he was entering his first year in his absolute prime, averaging 35 points, 5.9 assists, 5.5 boards.
He won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year that year.
1.6 blocks.
Scottie Pippen was rookie year.
You could argue Jordan this year, in 1988, had the best season in NBA history.
That's what they said.
Winning MVP, All-Star Game MVP, the dunk contest, he was first team All-NBA, first team All-Defense, the scoring leader, steals leader, Defensive Player of the Year, played all 82 games, and the most minutes averaged in the entire league.
Crazy.
The Bulls making the playoffs, improving so drastically, was that due to Jordan having the greatest year of all time, or Scottie Pippen, who was a rookie? Even worse than that, Pippen on the Bulls roster wasn't their second best player, third best player, fourth best player, or fifth best player.
Facts.
As Pippen that year ranked 8th in minutes per game on his own team and 7th in scoring at 7.9 points. And even looking at the NBA playoffs, Michael Jordan and Scottie, in their first game together, Jordan had 50 points playing 44 minutes to Pippen, who scored 0 points, only playing 19 minutes. And Jordan, for that series, averaged an astounding 45.2 points per game, the highest ever in a single series. So once again, I'll ask, in 1988, who was the main reason the Bulls got over the hump and started winning in the playoffs?
MJ.
Was it Michael Jordan, who who won virtually every award, or Scottie Pippen, who didn't start one game for the Bulls that season. And if you think 1 year's a small sample size is unfair, look at 1989. Pippen at that point still wasn't an all-star or a great player.
He was an
by
all-star
any
in his
standards.
third year.
And Jordan, for the most part, carried role players to the Eastern Conference Finals. And this run alone proves Jordan, minus cokeheads and drunks, can carry a team deep in the playoffs. As versus Cleveland, he averaged 38.9 points, scored 44, 50, and 44 over the last 3 games, and the game winner over Elo. Versus the Knicks, for the second seed, he averaged 35.7 points, scored 40 points, 47, 38, and 40 for the final 4 games. And versus Detroit, averaged 30 points per game, with Craig Hodges being his best teammate. I want to be very, very clear in saying this. Pippen in his prime was one of the best players in NBA history.
Facts.
But his first 2, 3, even 4 years, he wasn't prime Pippen in the Pippen you remember. And saying Jordan pre-Scottie,
He was an all-star though the third year.
it's one of those half-truths that is true at face value. When you add context, it's much more nuanced and not black and white. And looking at Jordan versus Pippen off the court, once again, this beef, it's completely one-sided, with Pippen throwing all the punches. As Jordan always gives Scottie credit, praise, and goes over the top with adulation. At this point, Pippen, you gotta just hope the best for him, hope he gets through this, and at some point gets over these demons. So, as always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.
I love Uncut Hoops. He's just like anytime anytime somebody gives a ridiculous take, he comes back and give you stats and everything, and then just tell you how he feels and all that. Oh man, so I love Uncut Hoops. Shout out Uncut Hoops for the video and everything, man. You heard the quote what Scottie Pippen said. He was on Stacey King's podcast, Give Me the Hot Sauce. I think it was like last week, and it's been like the big topic of the news and everything. And this is Scottie Pippen's quotes right here. He said, I seen Michael Jordan play before I came to the Bulls. You guys have seen him play. He was horrible to play with. It was all one-on-one, shooting bad shots. All of a sudden, we become a team and we start winning. Everyone forgot who he was. He was a player who was not at the top of the category it was scoring. So, with his quote, you know how media is. They'll take it and run with it and everything. And then Scottie Pippen, they said Scottie Pippen calls him a horrible player and everything. So, first of all, the word choice and all that could have been a little bit better. But like I said, the media always runs with it and makes it into a whole nother thing right here. Scottie Pippen calling Michael Jordan a horrible player and all that. So they're going to run with it and all. First things first, the Last Dance really affected Scottie Pippen because Scottie felt like he's not given enough credit. It's like you have to tell him like, man, we appreciate your contributions to what you did for those Bulls in those championship years. He felt like all the credit is going to Jordan. If you're a basketball fan, like a purest basketball fan, you know Scottie Pippen was a difference on that Chicago Bulls team. It's not just Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen definitely has an impact on the Chicago Bulls team. Even Michael Jordan said it himself that Scottie Pippen was the best teammate he ever played with. He said he wouldn't win those championships without Scottie Pippen. He'd been on record saying that and everything. So Scottie just feels like it's not, he's trying to get himself like credit from everybody and all that. Like the casual fan will say, oh, Jordan did it, Jordan's Bulls, Jordan this, Jordan that. They'll never say like Jordan and Pippen's Bulls, which they need to, that's what they need to say. It was Jordan and Pippen's Bulls. But the casual fan would say Jordan Bulls and all that. So that kind of lingers in the effect of why Scottie feels the way he is and everything. The Last Dance really did affect him because he felt like, he was being disrespected by Michael Jordan in the documentary. One, talking about the contract that Scottie Pippen signed, and Michael Jordan said it was stupid. And then also the whole thing when Michael Jordan retired the first time, when Scottie Pippen sat down because he refused to go in for a play because the play was not drawn up for him to take the last shot. It was for Kukoc against New York in the Eastern Conference Finals. And Michael Jordan kind of been on record, disrespecting Scottie Pippen and his leadership and all that. And Scottie Pippen took offense to it and all that. Scottie, you shouldn't really, I understand why you're taking offense to it, but you got to think about it. The documentary is revolving around Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan is going to say how he feels and everything from a Michael Jordan point of view. It was Michael Jordan's last dance, So, it kind of gets a little overboard, but I understand the feeling why he felt that way. Listen, if you want to feel this way one time, that's fine. But then doing it over and over and over and over again, it gets a little too old quickly and all that. And I guess it doesn't really help when his ex-wife is dating Michael Jordan's son. That's when it's really getting personal. I feel like that's where you hear a lot of animosity and all that, is because the whole thing with his ex-wife dating Michael Jordan's son. That is kind of like a recipe right there of Scottie Pippen and those comments right there that he said. So that played a part to it as well. So, but Pippen could be smart too as well. Maybe he don't really mean those things and all that, and he's just probably just trying to do it just so he can sell his tequila, just to sell his books and everything. So, sometimes in, marketing and stuff, like some people got an album coming out, this week. They'll do something controversial that people ain't going to like and all that, just so the attention's going to be on them, and they end up going to, like a marketing way to sell an album or sell this or sell that. Sometimes it could work, sometimes it might backfire. So it really just depends on all that. So the word choice was a little off, I think, in my opinion and everything. I kind of understand what Scottie's saying. I wouldn't say that Michael Jordan wasn't a horrible player. If you want to say he was a bad teammate and didn't really treat his teammates right, then I would understand that. Obviously we know that Michael Jordan is not a nice guy and that he's a butthole and everything. You hear all these stories back in the day what he used to did when he was at the Chicago Bulls and with the Washington Wizards. You can make that argument of him being a bad teammate, but just saying he's a horrible player, it's not like the best thing to say and all that, because like Uncut Hoops said, if you look at his rookie year, he had an unbelievable career, and was like top 3 in the NBA, was until the best player in the league and all that, with the statistics that he got, playing defense, winning all these accolades, his impact and everything. Even before they started winning, he's racking up dunk contests, racking up All-Star game, All-Star appearances, racking up All-Star MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, scoring titles, MVP. He was a bad dude. Like, nobody couldn't stop him and everything. And the Bulls team was bad. They were really bad and all that. What else could he do? They was just a really bad team that he had and all that, until, Jerry Krause came in and definitely built around the team and everything. Got Scottie Pippen in a trade from the Seattle Supersonics. And then you saying that he didn't win until you came in and all that. Uncup gave you the statistics and all that. Pippen didn't really develop until he became an All-Star in 1990 and everything. Then, he got a lot better and he became, definitely the second option, definitely the All-Star, the Scottie Pippen that we saw in the prime that could guard 1 through 4 at the time, because centers were really big at that time. And Phil Jackson coming in too as well, and Tex Winter with the triangle offense and all that. Then they started winning, Michael Jordan trusting his teammates, and then getting over that Detroit Pistons hump too as well. So, I think just Pippen just kind of just a little bitter towards and all that, but it's getting to the point that it's just getting a little too much and all that. Even Ron Harper sent out like a tweet just telling Scottie just to stop and all that because he's just making a fool out of himself and everything. But the word choices and stuff is a little off and all that. I understand what Scottie's trying to say and everything, but at the same time, you know, he just has to just pretty much chill out and everything. So, but like I said, you know, it's just like he's out for vendetta against MJ and all that. And thank goodness MJ's not saying anything bad. He probably don't even care. He making money. He's doing his business and everything. He probably don't care. But you know, Michael Jordan, like he said, on record, he wouldn't win without Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was the best teammate he ever had. So there you go. Definitely let me know in the comments below. Tell me your thoughts about Scottie Pippen and Jordan's. Could you ever see him be in a room together like you seen with RT and Magic and Shaq and Kobe? Like, would you ever, and Karl Malone and Isaiah, could you ever see Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen in the room together one day to hash out their differences and everything? Please let me know in the comments below. Let me know what to react to next. Subscribe to It's Just JP for more basketball content. Click that notification bell. You know where our next upload is on the road to 40K. I'm JP. Y'all have a good night. Peace.